Hope you're doing good today. Hope you've been having a good week. It's Friday. Yay! This week's been fun for my family. We celebrated my youngest boy's birthday yesterday. He turned 4, and so I've never seen a little kid love birthdays as much as James loves birthdays. It doesn't even matter if it's whose birthday it is. If it's his brother's, a friend's, anybody's. He just loves birthday parties. And so yesterday it was his turn, and he turned 4, and we kind of just celebrated with him at home, just spoiling him rotten. Each of the boys took turns. Hey, from the kitchen. Hey, guys. And so we took turns just giving him gifts throughout the day, and then we ended our evening eating some chocolate cake at home, which is his favorite. He said he doesn't say chocolate cake, though. He says brown cake. He wants brown cake, and he wanted the brown frosting on it. And anyway, he was just spoiled rotten, and we just love him a lot and feel really blessed to have him as part of our family. And so today when he woke up, I was reminding him something he told me he was going to do when he turned 4. And he said, "Am I still 4?" So anyway, I don't think he quite understands concepts of birthdays yet, how you get to stay that age, but he's already looking forward to his next birthday when he turns 5. So, he's only got, a whole year to wait. But anyway, so he had a good time at home yesterday. Today I wanted to come on and just kind of talk over what I wrote about on Tuesday's blog post. So before I wrote the blog on Tuesday, though, I sent an email out to any of you who have given me your email address or left it on the website where you could get some quick tips to help you improve the next photo that you took. And anyway, I asked you to pretend that I'm Google. I said, I want to help you achieve the kinds of photos that you want to take. So ask me any question about photography, and I would love to answer them. And so I was so excited because, literally in less than 2 minutes, replies started coming to my inbox, and I was like, hey, okay, so let's go with this. And they all centered around the idea, mostly, not all, so mostly they centered around the idea of they wanted to take better pictures of their kids. And then some people were kind of concerned in their email or their messages to me, and they were like, I don't really use a real camera. I just use my iPhone, so I don't know. And I guess the majority of them who were saying that weren't really satisfied with the quality of their photos on their phones either. And so they were like, I don't know. So I kind of took those questions that you sent to me, and the overarching thing was, how do I take better pictures of my kids? And so I thought, well, I'll write about that. So when I started writing, I realized I actually have a lot more to say about it than I thought. I thought I would just be like, boom, 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 and give you 10 tips. Whew, got tongue-tied. I thought I would just give you 10 tips pretty quick, but then the more I was writing, I was like, ooh, this is going to be a long blog post. Let me break it up. So I just gave you 5 tips on Tuesday, and so I kind of wanted to just go over those with you here live tonight. I don't know if anybody's catching this live, but I'll leave the recording up for you to watch later since it's Friday. Maybe people are going out. So the 5 tips, let's start with the first one. The first tip, which you can easily forget if you've been taking pictures any amount of time. I know I often overlook, and I'm like, wait, what? The first thing to do before you even take a picture is clean your lens. And so I have my phone here, and so the first thing, I put my phone in the craziest places. It's in my pocket getting lint. I throw it in my purse, which is like a Mary Poppins bag. You never know what I'm going to pull out of there. I see mamas who are letting their young little bitty babies tease on their phones, and I get kind of cringe because I'm like, oh, the lens on your camera is going to be so yucky. But anyway, to each their own. If you want to let your baby do that, that's fine. But because of all that, setting it on the kitchen counter while you're cooking, trying to look at a recipe, you just get smudges and goo and slobbers all over it. Just make sure that you just take a minute to clean off the lens of your camera here before you start snapping pictures. And don't rely on your finger to simply clean. Don't lick and clean. No. You want a soft cloth, or Also, don't forget about this camera, the front-facing camera right there, because, you know, when we're talking on the phone and everything, your sunblock or your makeup or your blush is going to rub off on that. So just make sure that you clean that off before you start to take your picture. And I think that will help you, like, right away. I actually use these little, I should have brought one in here, but it's okay. I use these little, like, they're actually lens cleaning cloths. They come in little individually wrapped, kind of like moist towelettes do, and you can get them, like, in the eye care center, or you can buy a huge box of them at Sam's, and I use those to, like, clean the whole screen of, like, my iPad and my phone a lot. And so I'll go back with a clean one and just make sure that I get the camera lenses really good too on my phone. I probably do that a couple times a week just to make sure that I'm cleaning it off and I don't have any smudges on there. When I'm ready to snap a picture, I'm good to go. So first tip, clean your lens. And then the second tip is to use natural light. And so even right now while I'm making this video, it was kind of a little bit noisy in the house. And so I was like, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? And the kids are all in the kitchen and stuff right now eating some pizza. And so I was like, okay, I'll go in their room since they're not in there playing. And so I'm in here, and what I'm actually doing right now, it might look a little bit dark behind me, and that is on purpose. My light source is just the window. I don't have any lights on in the room that I'm in right now. Actually, I have my iPad up and in the windowsill, and I am facing the window, so the light is coming at me like this. One of my kids is outside waving at me now, but the light is coming at me like this from the front, so I am being lit in the front here. And there's no light sources behind me or beside me, so I'm pretty like evenly lit right now, and it kind of causes all these shadows to kind of fall away in the back behind me, which is a good thing when you're doing a live video in your kids' room. It's not that bad. It looks okay. But see, if I kind of move, you can see how it shifts and changes the light. So I'm using natural light, and what I mean by that is not man-made. So if it uses batteries or electricity, then I would consider that like man-made, and I would try to avoid that in my photography when I'm trying to figure out natural light. And so right now, this window is actually facing towards the east, and the sun is setting now here in Texas, and so it's setting on the other side of my house. And so the light is not very harsh and directly coming in from the window, so it's a little bit more favorable for this video. But what I want you to do with your phone, if that's what you're using, or with your camera, is turn the flash off. It might seem weird, but like turn the flash off and just pull back the curtains, open up those blinds, and try to just observe your surroundings a little bit with just that natural light flowing in your house or the space you're trying to take a photo in, especially if you're not used to having all that light come in, and just kind of watch where the shadows land, look at all, just how it's illuminated differently, and then snap your photo. So just use natural light. That is the second tip. So the third tip would be to get down lower. So especially for mamas who have younger kids that are crawling or just learning to sit on the floor, or maybe they're laying on the floor in a blanket, playing with some toys. Even my older boys are on the floor doing things like, I don't even know what, usually wrestling or fighting, but you know, you got to get pictures of that too, right? So you want to get down low, and the reason why you're doing that is because as adults, as mamas, we're just like walking around all the time, and we're so up high that we're just used to seeing everything from our eye level. When you change your perspective, when you get down to a child's perspective, I think that, I even said it in the blog, that the trees are taller and the sky is bigger. And just having a change of perspective kind of helps you, like, helps your eyes look in places that it doesn't normally look, and it also can help you document your surroundings, your environment from your child's perspective, which is always neat to look back on later. So get down low, change your perspective. Don't just stand over them with your camera like this, like shooting down towards them. Try to get lower so that you can be more level with them whenever you're shooting. So clean your lens, use natural light, get down lower. And the fourth tip is focus on the eyes. And so if you're using your iPhone, which I've not ever used another phone for photography other than like do a way throwback here with my flip razor phone that I thought was the coolest thing ever. Any of my family remember me? She was so special to me. I even named my phone Ruby. So anyway, Ruby's gone. May she rest in peace. And now I have my iPhone. So on your iPhone, that was chasing a rabbit, wasn't it? Okay, so on your iPhone, when you want to focus on something, it is so easy. Like, let me get my camera pulled up here. See if I can do this. So you see me in my camera there. So like what I would do to focus on my eyes, this is really hard to do, okay? While I'm recording, I would just tap on my eye. Tap on my eye. Now since my phone is held kind of flat straight in front of me, my eyes are on like the same plane, so I could even tap right here on the screen of my phone and just focus between my eyes. And then that will help keep them both kind of in focus. Okay, so that's a little focusing tip with your phone. Just if you're photographing your kids, which is what we're talking about, you want to tap where their eye is or in between their eye when you snap the picture. It will help focus right there. If they're kind of at an angle, then you want to always tap the eye that is closest to your camera, okay? So, because that kind of shifts and then they're like not on the same flat plane in front of you. So it becomes more dimensional. And so you're going to want to tap right here on the eye that's closest to your lens. And then that is where your iPhone will expose and focus for. There are some camera apps that you can have where it might even do it I don't know that it does it in the native app on your iPhone, but you can focus and expose separately by 2 separate taps. What I mean by focus, well, obviously focus just means it's not blurry, right? Like you could see my eyelashes or something. It would be crisp and in focus. And exposure is just how bright or how dark a photo is. And so you can, what you usually want to do when you are taking pictures of your child, unless you're just trying to be super, super creative with your shot. When you're just starting out, what you want to expose for is their skin. So you don't want it like so bright that you can't see any details or like shadows by your kid's nose or anything. You want to see those because they're naturally there. So you want to expose like for their skin. So if you're tapping on your screen by their eye or between their eye, what the native camera is going to do is it's going to focus there, it's going to try to bring that into focus, and it's also going to expose for it. Try to make that not too bright and not too dark. If you want to kind of play around with the exposure, you can actually wind up tapping in different areas. Like, I'm going to see if I can do this. So I'll try to pull mine back up here for you. You can play around, and instead of just tapping between my eyes, you could tap the darkest area of your photo, and it actually brightens the whole thing. But do you see how I get all blown out and way overexposed? I'm too bright. I kind of look weird with just eyes floating in a white blob there. That's because it exposed for the scenery behind me. Now if I go back and tap on the area that's really bright, my face, look, it brought the exposure back down and you could see me. So you can just play around with that, tapping like the darkest area. Anyway, you know, you can mess around with it and do some really cool things with that. So here's our tip so far. Clean your lens, use natural light, get down low to change your perspective, focus on the eyes, and then the 5th tip and final tip is to get closer. And so I read somewhere, I think I even read it this week, that if you're questioning if you're close enough, you probably aren't. Get closer. And another thing I had read somewhere, I wish I could remember where I read these. If I do, I'll put it down in the comments later. But another thing I had read was about being close to your photographs was sometimes that's all it takes to make a boring photograph a little more interesting, is to just step closer. So right now on purpose, I have positioned myself pretty close to my iPad while I'm doing this live video. So if I back myself up away from the camera, you'll start to see more distractions in my kid's room. So if I back myself up, you'll notice that more things come in focus. Do you see that? You know, you can see the back of the room. But if I come closer, I'm the primary thing that you focus on in this video. So it's the same concept with photography. Light plays a huge factor into how your overall picture is going to turn out. And photography is just simply writing or painting with light, and now we get to do that digitally with the technology that we have. So it's really fun to experiment and play around. So have fun with these first 5 tips this week. And if you have some photos that you want to share, you want me to take a look at, leave them in the comments of this video. I would love to do that. I love to see your images. There'll be another blog post coming next week with 5 more tips to help you take better photos of your kids. And let's see, my oldest son Joshua, he has agreed to help me make some videos to create some demonstrations and examples of me actually doing these tips that I'm leaving you, so you can kind of see somewhere behind the scenes of me with my camera, and then I'll share the photos that I get with them, and he's going to help me make little videos like that to share with you, and I hope that they'll be a help to you. So be on the lookout for those. I'll be sure to talk about them here whenever they go up. Also, keep an eye on Instagram. So if you didn't already know, I actually have 2 Instagram accounts. The first one is a little bit more personal. It's my original Instagram account, and you can look it up with the username My Life and Lens by Kat, K-A-T, like Catherine. And I share a little bit more personally there. Photographs throughout my week each week, and sometimes I don't think I've done more than 1 in a day, except now I'm having a lot of fun up in Instagram stories. So I'm sharing videos and photographs up in my Instagram stories at the top of the Instagram app if you want to follow along there. But the second Instagram account that I want you to be sure to follow is actually Mom Photobomb. It's just all one word, no spaces, dashes, or any punctuation between Mom Photobomb. That's the username, that's the account name there, and I want you to be sure to follow that one, because later tonight on Instagram, on the Mom Photobomb account, I am going to go live there. I'm shooting for, let me see what time it is. I'm shooting for around 9 o'clock, so that's in a little over an hour. I will try to catch some of you on Instagram live with the username at Mom Photobomb. So I hope to see you there. I hope you guys have a happy 4th of July, and I'll talk to you again soon, friends. Bye.